Welcome, everybody, to our SBDC interview series. I'm Leanne Presley, and I'm your host today. I'm interviewing Jay Smith, who is the president of Collegiate Peaks Bank in Buena Vista. And our purpose in interviewing the local bankers here in Chaffee County, Lake County, and Park County is to help our community really understand the extent that these local bankers provided support to our communities. So I'm going to just ask Jay a couple of questions about his experience with the PPP loan funding in the hope of sharing all the support that all these bankers have given to our community. So Jay, welcome to our program.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you having us here.
Well, Jay, like I said at the beginning of the interview, we really want to get a sense of what our local banking and banker community went through in supporting all of the small business loans in Chaffee Park and Lake County. We're talking about the PPP loan primarily, which is the Paycheck Protection Program for those folks that might not know. So Jay, first let's just start with having you tell me a little bit about how long have you been in your current position at the bank in Buena Vista?
Well, I've been president of the Buena Vista Bank at Collegiate Peaks Bank since mid-March of 2019.
Okay, awesome. And I wonder if you can tell me, I know some banks were not immediately able to process the PPP loans right out of the gate. You guys had to go through a process of becoming what's called a 7A lender for the SBA or the Small Business Administration. Tell me a little bit about some of the challenges that you experienced in becoming a qualified 7A lender.
Leanne, we were very fortunate to have been an SBA certified lender for many, many years. So there was no challenge for us to begin the program. And we immediately hit the ground running as soon as the tranche one of the PPP program was opened up at the 1st of April. And during those first week or two, I think we were processing about 50 applications an hour.
Oh my goodness.
We didn't have any challenges. I do want to thank both the SBA and the SBDC because you both played a pretty big role in A, making these funds available for our small business customers, and B, helping make that process very smooth. And we're grateful for that because the underwriting approval process was very simple and straightforward. The SBA was very wonderful to work with. So we were able to get those loans processed, booked, and closed in a very timely manner to take care of our customers. So we're grateful for both of you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. It was kind of a crazy time, wasn't it, Jay? Just so much frenetic activity happening and so many questions, and there was so much confusion. And I know you guys were hustling really hard to get those loans funded. So tell our audience a little bit about, in the end, how much did you actually fund in terms of a gross dollar amount for local businesses? And then how many individual businesses did you provide PPP loans for?
As of right now, we have processed and approved over 110 PPP loans totaling in excess of $6.5 million. As you know, tranche two is not yet fully funded, so we're still receiving applications and processing those. We anticipate somewhere between 120 and 130 as our final number before tranche two ends. And certainly we don't know whether there's going to be a tranche three or not, but 110 plus loans and $6.5 million in funding for those small businesses in Chaffee County.
Wow, that's incredible, Jay. And you're just one of many banks here locally that provided these types of loans. So the impact is hopefully going to be really long lasting and deep and help a lot of small business owners. So Jay, I'm wondering if you can speak just a little bit about your community, which you said you're in Buena Vista. How do you think the PPP loan program is going to impact your community?
I think if I was to use one word, it would be critical. So many of our businesses, hotels, restaurants, bars, gift shops, rafting services, so many of our businesses are seasonal. And these funds allowed a lot of these businesses to keep people on payroll or bring people back on payroll. And a lot of these businesses might struggle to survive this pandemic and this year if those funds had not been available for them. So almost every single one of our customers emailed us thanking us for helping them with this program. They're very grateful for it, and they feel like the impact these funds will have on the viability of their business cannot be understated.
Hmm. I bet. And as we talked about earlier, we're in this phase right now where some of these businesses, like the restaurants and the tourist companies, are all in the period where they got the PPP funding and they're supposed to be using that right now. As we record, we're talking like at the end of May right now. And I think that time is going to come when they're thinking about the repayment and the forgiveness period of the PPP loan. What would you say are some of the things that your customers might not fully understand at this point about repaying back that PPP loan, or specifically some of the forgiveness criteria?
That is an excellent question. And probably the biggest thing I would want to relay to the customers are that the bank that you got your PPP loan through will be responsible for calculating the percentage of forgiveness of your loan, but they are not authorized to make that decision. The SBA ultimately will make that decision based on the information that we provide them. The SBA will, I believe they're putting together a debt forgiveness calculator to push out to the banks. We'll process your loan through that program. It will calculate the percentage of forgiveness, 100% or whatever that may work out to be. We submit that to the SBA. The SBA then approves that, and that's when the final decision for debt forgiveness is actually made.
Okay, thank you for that clarification, because I know there's a lot of confusion and there's so much on the internet out there about rules and checklists and, folks that really don't know what they're talking about out there giving advice to business owners about the forgiveness piece. So thank you for being really specific and clarifying that up for our viewers. So lastly, Jay, I know that Collegiate Peaks Bank does so much for the community, not just in what you've done to fund the PPP loans, and the hustling that you guys did to get those applications in under the gun, I think is admirable. So thank you for that. But I just want to take a minute and give you the opportunity, Jay, to share with our listeners, what are some of the other things that Collegiate Peaks Bank does for Chaffee County that you might want to share with us?
Well, thank you for asking. We are very heavily invested in this community, as you know, both in Salida with the branch there and here in BV. We're heavily invested in the school districts, the civic organizations. We make donations to civic events, sponsorships of civic events. We're heavily invested in the school systems in both towns. We all live, work, and play here. So it's kind of like when you go camping, you want the camping site to look better when you leave than it did when you got there. That's the theory we work on. We want to do what we can to invest our time, effort, and energy in the community to make it a better place for all of us. So we're very grateful to live and work here and serve the businesses and the people of Chaffee County.
Well, thank you, Jay, for everything you and the bank does for our community. I know on behalf of Chaffee County citizens, we really appreciate that. So Jay Smith, president of Collegiate Peaks Bank, again, thank you for your time today, and I enjoyed chatting with you.
Thank you so much. I did as well. Have a good day.